Hey guys, Steve here. I'm going to be making a new drawbar for my mill. We're not going to get into why, but I have a small piece of steel over here that I faced off, and this is what's going to be the quick eject for the collet, and I'm going to end up welding it right about here. So just a quick lathe video on how to do it. So let me try to get this pointed in. Since I already know that my tailstock is pretty much exactly where I want it to be. Sorry, I'm trying to multitask here. Tailstock is pretty centered, so I'm going to be using the tailstock instead of the carriage. So I'm still trying to get this in on here. So the diameter of this giant bolt that I'm going to be using is 3/8 of an inch. So I need to use a 3/8 bit to bore into that. So how are we going to do that? Well, to start, we're going to use a center drill. So a center drill is going to make like a small pilot hole that big so that your drill bit or boring bar, whatever it is that you're going to use, doesn't wiggle out of place. So I'm going to get this in the chuck. Get it set up, zoom in. All right, and we're going to turn it on. So now that we have that, we're just going to progressively get larger and larger with the tools so that we don't unnecessarily wear them. So hang tight. So I got the snap-on cobalt drill bit set, and I already have the 3/8 pulled out because that's what I'm going to be using, but we're just going to go larger and larger. All right, now I'm going to start with a 7/64 and pretty much the same thing. And I love tap magic. What I'm doing when I go in and back out is called pecking. So it gives it a chance for the chips to clear. And when I program the CNC, I do the same thing on the CNC. So I can go in, drill, come out, and then the coolant washes off the bit or the end mill or whatever. Goes in, goes out, coolant washes it off. Same concept. And then we just go to a bigger bit for this. Same thing again, we just have a larger bit. little by little till we get to 3/8. And we're going to skip a few steps because I'm using snap-on bits and my lathe is huge and has plenty of power. But I'm using a terribly dull bit. So I think instead of this, I might try using an end mill. All right, skipping a few steps here. I only did that because it's a brand new bit. I haven't used this one, and the lathe is just fine. All right, this is 3/8. Nope, my bit is dull as hell. One thing I've learned is you can spit on it and force it in. All right, so now we're going to test this. Oh yeah. Very tight fit, and it's going to sit up at the top, god dang, like that, so that, it's going to sit up at the top like this, so that when I back this out, if a collet is stuck inside the spindle, there's like a lock nut thing that sits right here, and this side secures to the spindle. So as I back this out, it stops right there, and as it keeps spinning, the drawbar is not moving, so it's forcing the collet out of the spindle. So that's essentially what I was trying to do. So now you get the idea of making a drawbar.